Welcome to Made by Britsie, episode number... Hey guys, welcome to Made by Britsie, episode number 13. I am Brittany, and this is my podcast where I chat about everything that I've been knitting and sewing. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at MadeByBritSie. And I'm coming to you from Boston, Mass, where I live with my husband Dave, our cat Slayer, and our 3-month-old daughter Mila, who is right over there in her little rocker. And so if you hear any strange noises coming from that direction, please excuse them. It's just her, hopefully trying to fall asleep, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I just want to say welcome to any of my new subscribers, and thank you to anyone who has been around since the beginning. I have been MIA for about a year. Totally did not expect to take that much time off. I think I underestimated how tired I would be during pregnancy and how much time it would take to take care of a newborn. I somehow thought I would just magically have hours to still sit and podcast and edit. Unfortunately, I was wrong. But we're on a little bit more of a set schedule now. She is napping pretty well during the day. So I think I'll be able to consistently put out new episodes. At least I hope so. I'm glad to be back. I really missed recording. I really missed like sharing with you guys what I've been making, chatting with you guys, and in general, just I miss being a part of the knitting community. So to say thank you to everyone who has stuck around and any new subscribers, I want to do a giveaway this episode. I've never done a giveaway before, so this is exciting for me and hopefully exciting for you. So what I'm going to be giving away is actually a skein of yarn that I dyed myself. It's 100% superwash merino and it's sport weight. Please excuse the horrible job I did at rescanning this. But yeah, so I don't know about you guys, but I've been totally obsessed with this color combination lately, like blues and oranges together. So yeah, I was just playing around and kind of experimented with putting those two colors together, and I'm super pleased with how it turned out. 9 times out of 10, my dyeing experiments do not work out, and this was one that actually did go well. So yeah, I'd like to share it with you guys. Just comment where you're from, and I will randomly select someone and we'll announce it in the next episode, which should be about 2 weeks from now, and then I'll get your info and get this out to you. So yeah, if this totally isn't your cup of tea and I do draw your name, then you can tell me. I will not be offended, and I'm happy to dye something else up, because I know these are kind of like strong colors, and I'd hate to send you something that you're just never going to use. And I totally don't mind getting some dyeing practice in, so you could like tell me your favorite color or colors and I could come up with something. But yeah, either way, we'll figure something out. But I just really want to say thank you to everyone and show my appreciation. So yeah, leave a comment where you're from, and I'll draw someone and announce it in the next episode, hopefully about 2 weeks from now. So I guess I'll start off by showing you guys what I've been working on. Since I got my knitting mojo back, I was kind of inspired to cast on so many things, but I haven't made a lot of progress on most of those, so I'm just going to show you the 2 that I've been working on the most. So the first one I have to show you is the Everyday Slouchy Beanie, and this is a pattern by Dragon Horde Yarns. It's just kind of like a basic beanie, but what I really like about it is that it's got like a double knit brim. So you knit about 3 inches, and then you knit another 3 inches and fold it up so it's and seam it together. So you do a provisional cast on, which is why I have this. I don't know if you can see this scrap yarn right here. So yeah, it just kind of makes like a extra thick brim, which will be really nice to have this winter because it does get pretty cold here. And I really like having my ears warm. The other good thing about this beanie is that it's got, or from what I can tell, it's got a little bit of slouch, like not too much, but just the right amount. And I don't know about you guys, but I am like super picky with the fit of my hats. Like I just can't, I feel like I don't look really good in beanies, but they're kind of a necessity here in the winter. Although now that I cut my hair short, I think it's a little better. I think when I had long hair, it was just kind of like the hat just squished it down and my hair just hung there, and I don't know. Something just wasn't right. So I have high hopes for this one. From all the like project pictures on Ravelry, it looks super cute, and it looks like just the kind of beanie that I've been wanting. So this is knit using a fingering weight yarn held with a strand of mohair. So I am using, for the fingering weight, I'm using this Madeline Tosh and Tosh Mo Light, and it's the smokestack colorway. Just kind of like a light gray with some black speckles. And for the mohair, I'm using Shibui Knits, and it's a Silk Cloud and the Mineral colorway. And it's so soft. I really love this yarn. So I'm doing a color blocked version. So I'm gonna knit the brim in this and maybe a couple inches more, and then I'm gonna, for the top half, I'm gonna switch to this light pink. And this is Farmer's Daughter Fibers yarn. They're squish fingering, I believe. Yeah, squish fingering, and this is the One Stab colorway. So a really pretty kind of dusty rose. So yeah, I'm also going to hold that together with this. I think it'll just help blend the two colors, and it won't be a super drastic light change, but just enough to make it noticeable. So yeah, this is actually knitting up fairly quickly. I haven't, so I got sidetracked with one of my FOs that I'll show you in just a minute. So I haven't put a whole lot of time into this one, but I think once I really kind of dedicate myself to this, it'll knit up pretty quickly. So I'm super excited to have this finished because it is getting pretty chilly here. My next project is something that I've been working on for a while now. I kind of lost steam, mainly because it's a fingering weight cropped short sleeve sweater. And now that it's getting colder, I'm not super motivated to finish it. But I do really love how it's turning out. And this is the Navelli by Caitlin Hunter. And it's just a cropped sweater with color work at the bottom and then stockinette after that. And that's also part of the problem. I'm onto the stockinette, and I don't know. So I just finished the shawl knit out of worsted weight yarn, and knitting with fingering weight yarn just seems to be slow going. But I am pretty close. I've just got a few more inches, and then I can separate for the sleeves. Yeah, so I think even though it is fingering weight and cropped, I think with a jacket, or if I layer it over like a long sleeve shirt, I think I can make this work for winter. So the colors I use, this is all Madeline Tosh, and this kind of ochre color down here is Madeline Tosh in the Euro Sock, and it's the colorway Rye Bourbon. This gray is Madeline Tosh Mo Light in the Doe Eyes colorway. And then this pink, which I was so excited to use. And I think it just goes perfectly with the ochre here because it's got speckles of that same color in the pink. And this is Madeline Tosh Euro Sock and Star Scatter. And I have a second skein that I haven't had to use yet, but just so you can see how like gorgeous this is. Yeah, this is probably one, I love Madeline Tosh yarn, and I've I've knit with a lot of it, and this is probably one of my favorite colorways. I mean, it's like subtle, but you still have some speckles in there, which I really like. Yeah, I think it's just gorgeous. Like, I could knit a whole sweater out of this. Yeah, so those are the two that I've been kind of putting the most work into. Should hopefully have both of those finished before too long, because I do have other projects that I am super excited about, and I'd like to get started on those. I am finding that now that I have less knitting time because of the baby, I do get kind of more bang for the buck when I'm monogamous, or mostly monogamous with my knitting. So if I kind of like put all my effort into one project, finish that before moving on to the next, I find that it's, you know, I feel like I get more out of my knitting time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So moving on to finished objects, I knit this little hat for my daughter Mila. This is the garter ear flap hat. It's a free pattern from Pearl Soho, and I think all or most of their patterns are free, so you should definitely check them out. So this was a quick knit. It's with worsted weight yarn, and it's on size 7 or 8 DPNs, I believe. So this did knit up super quick, and it's perfect for any like leftover ends of worsted weight yarn that you might have, because it doesn't use a whole lot. It's super cute. I think I knit the 0 to 3 month size, and it fits her perfectly. And I like that it has the little ear flaps to cover her ears, because it does get pretty cold here, or it gets very cold here in the winter. So this will be perfect for her when we go outside. And they did have like a range of sizes. I think it goes all the way up to adult size. So I think that would be super cute too. I'll insert a picture so you can see just how it looks on her. It really is adorable. I'll definitely be knitting at least a couple more of these because it was so quick. My next project is the first big project that I've finished in a while. And actually once I started this, I was pretty monogamous because I was just so excited about it. And this is the Night Shift shawl by Andrea Mowry, and it's also knit out of worsted weight yarn, so it knit up very quickly, and it's so soft and squishy, and it's going to be super warm and perfect for this winter. So yeah, because it's worsted weight, it knit up super quickly, and the color changes also kept it very interesting. So the pattern calls for spin cycle yarn, which, as we all know, spin cycle can be pretty pricey, especially if you're buying a quantity to knit a shawl this large. So I did not use spin cycle, but I still wanted that look because the spin cycle is really kind of stripy or variegated. So to kind of get close to that look, I just alternated in each section. I alternated contrasting colors, whereas I think the pattern calls for you to use the same contrasting color for each, for 2 sections. But I alternated just to give it a little more variation. And I love how it turned out. I'm not going to go through all the yarns in here that I used because there's a lot, but I'll mention a few of my favorites. So probably my number 1 favorite yarn that I used is this. It's kind of this burnt orange, or, well, the colorway is russet. So it's a yarn from Quince & Co, and it's the owl yarn, it's owl tweed. So it's their owl with tweedy nubs is how it's described on the back, and it's the russet colorway, and it's so soft. I really just love how it feels and how it knit up, and I'm in love with this color. My other favorites were 3 yarns from Malabrigo, and this is the Malabrigo Rios. So I got just different shades of blue. I think they paired really well with this. And I have enough left over. I'm actually going to use them to knit the shifty sweater from Andrea Mowry, which calls for sport weight yarn, but I don't know, I'm somehow going to make it work with worsted. So we'll see how that goes. But let's see, the 3 Malabrigo yarns that I used, this kind of medium blue is Wales Road. This grayish blue is Tormenta. So here we go. And this light blue is Aquamarine. I think this is my first time knitting with the Malabrigo Rios, and I love it. It's just so squishy. I guess most of the yarn that I used is squishy. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites, right up there with the Madeline Tosh yarns, I think. So 2 other yarns that I really enjoyed knitting with. This is from Noro, and I use this color and this color. So they don't have colorway names, they just have numbers, but this darker one is 149 and this lighter one is 211. So I really like how this one knit up. It kind of has the same look as Spin Cycle. Let me show you in the shawl. So that darker one is what I used right here for this section. You can kind of see how it goes from dark and then light and then kind of dark again. And then the lighter one I used right here. And there's still some variation, which I really like. That yarn it's not my favorite as far as feel. It is soft, but it's a little more, I guess, rustic than something. It's not super wash, so it's a little more rustic than like the Malabrigo that I used or the Quince & Co. But it's still, I really like the look of it. It's super cool. And actually like all of their yarns. If you've never used Noro, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they have a lot of cool yarns. The last 2 things I have to show you are both just pairs of socks. Nothing super exciting, but I guess they are worth mentioning. So they're just plain old vanilla socks. Here's one pair. So these are not matching. If you can tell, the stripes did not start on the same stripe, but that's totally fine with me. And same goes for these. These are not matching at all, and it's definitely obvious with these, but I don't mind. So let me talk about these first, because this yarn was really cool. So this is a yarn I bought at Michael's, and it's wool-free sock. So there's no wool in here, which is really cool because I know some people are sensitive to wool. This is 93% acrylic and 7% PBT. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, they knit up. I really like the way they knit up as far as like the stripe pattern. I love the colors. I love the feel. It feels honestly kind of like a cotton. And I believe I've washed these at least once, and you can't even tell, like they held up really well. They do, I feel like, knit up a little tighter than wool socks do. Like there's not as much stretch, so keep that in mind. But this is a good alternative for anyone who is sensitive to wool. The second pair of socks I knit using a yarn that I actually got in Bar Harbor, Maine, and it's Andy's Socks. So just a stripy sock yarn. I think this was actually my very No. I don't knit a whole lot of stripy socks. This might have been my first pair actually. But I really love how they turned out. I like the kind of micro stripes. So it stripes every 2 rows, which I really like that look. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about these. I do really like them. These have also been washed at least once, and they've held up really well. And I do wear these quite a bit. I have been using twisted rib for the cuffs on my socks. And twisted rib is where you just knit on the knit stitches, you knit through the back. I just really like the look. I feel like it makes the rib look a lot neater. I did it on these as well. There we go. Yeah, so just personal preference. For me, it's not that much more work. I know some people find it really annoying, but I don't think it's that bad, and I just really like the look it gives. Yeah, so I think that is it for my finished objects. I'll have some more to show you next time because I am currently blocking another hat that I knit for Mila. It's super cute. And hopefully I'll have the Navelli finished by then. That's it for finished objects. I do have a couple of stash enhancements to show you. Just some yarn that I have acquired and I'm really excited about. The first one is actually one that I bought about a year ago. I got this last Thanksgiving when I went home to Texas to visit family. So I got this at a little local yarn store there. It's called Strings and Things. And I had never been there before. It's super cute. They had a really good selection. They actually sold Knit Picks yarn, which I've never seen sold like in a store. I thought you could only get it online. So that was super cool. But I picked up this, and this is a skein of sock yarn by U Hughes. And this, I don't see a colorway. It's number 3. Yeah, but it's just a beautiful, mauvey, sparkly yarn, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm not really one to wear sparkles like in a sweater or anything, and I feel like it's too pretty for socks. I might knit something for Mila out of this, because every little girl needs something sparkly. So yeah, actually I think that's what I'm going to do. I've been hanging on to it just because it is really special, but... Okay, the next one I have is some spin cycle yarns that I actually purchased at like 3 o'clock in the morning one night when I was feeding Mila and scrolling through Instagram, and Andrea Mowry had just posted her, I think it's one of her newest patterns. I think it's the stone crop sweater. And she's been, a lot of her patterns, the suggested yarn has been spin cycle, and this is actually the first skein I've purchased. So the sweater that she showed was knit out of this and like a turquoise or teal color, and I ended up getting this and thinking that I might try to dye some of the turquoise one, but I didn't realize, I'm pretty sure that I needed more than one skein of this, and with shipping was $8 for this, so the total was like $40 for this one skein. So I don't know that I'll be purchasing another one if it does require more than one skein. So this may end up being used for something else, but I do really love it. It's like grays and oranges, which, like I said earlier, that's kind of grays, oranges, blues. I've just really been into those colors for fall. Yeah, so hopefully this will turn into something fairly soon. And last but not least, I have this skein of yarn. This was actually gifted to me by one of my viewers, and she's so awesome. I don't want to say her name in case she doesn't, want to be mentioned. But thank you so much. This was actually from last Christmas, and this is just so special. This is Wren House Yarns, and it's just so cool. I don't know. It's one of those yarns like I do want to use, but I also don't want to use because it's just really special. Oh, this is their City Streets colorway. Yeah, so again, not sure what I'm going to do with this for the moment. I'm just kind of enjoying looking at it because it's just so pretty. But yeah, that's all of my, well, I've definitely purchased way more yarn than what I just showed you over the past year, but these are definitely my most favorite ones, or ones that I haven't used yet. So that's it for today. Sorry if this has been a little rambly. I'm definitely out of practice and hoping to kind of get my groove back as time goes on. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for hanging in there. And I will see you guys again in 2 weeks, and I will announce the winner of the giveaway. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.